Transition Tuesday. I'm Jane. This is Joe. It is a glorious fall afternoon in Georgia. And I wanted to step back a little bit and talk about transition, that word transition. And so we're going to go from scared to cared. Parents of children with disabilities often tell me that they're not ready to talk about transition planning. But the thing is, we are dealing with transition all the time. Transition has a lot of different words, a lot of different situations in life. Other kinds of transition: birth, death, illness, health issues, gender identity, moving into a new place or moving to a new state or new country, marriage, divorce. All those kinds of things are transitions. It doesn't always have to be about disability, even though most of the things that Joe and I are talking about are disability related and transitioning from different kinds of services or to different kinds of services. But transition is something that we all deal with, whether you have a disability or not. So I have these little Postit notes, and they came from a meeting that I was working several years ago. I co-taught a class for families of kids with ADHD. And I asked them, what are your fears? What kinds of fears do you have about the future? And I've kept these Postit notes all these years because I think that all these years later, it's still the same. This one says, who will take care of my child? Will my child get into trouble, go to jail? How will I provide for my child financially when I'm old and they're an adult? I'm afraid my child will be bullied and have no friends. I'm afraid my child will not get a job. So if you didn't know that those parents had a child with ADHD, except for maybe the behavior one, these are common concerns that every parent has. So what I'm getting at is transition planning is not that different when you're talking about disability services as it is for any other parent when you're thinking about your child's future. Joe agrees with me. So when we're talking about disability transition, we're talking about early intervention, to pre-K services at age 3, entering kindergarten is a transition, entering middle school is a transition, puberty is a transition, entering high school, and then entering adulthood. That's true of kids without disabilities too. But the level of services change. So, other terms for transition: transformation, passage, adaptation, shift. All of these things kind of make you worried. So one strategy for dealing with that worry is to go ahead and make yourself a little picture of your worries, a sad face with maybe 5 things that you're worried about, and put them in a list. Or I'm going to make little cloud faces. If I were going to share my top 5, it would be what's going to happen when I'm too old to take care of Joe. Will he have a community that cares about him and supports him? Will he be healthy? Will he be able to communicate his needs And will he be happy? Those are my worries. So what do you do? How do you get ready for any kind of transition? Well, there's tons of stuff if you Google on preparing for changes in life. Going back to that death, birth, marriage, moving, all of those big transitions, the things that you need to do to get ready for those things are the very same things that you do for a transition plan with a student with a disability. Prepare. Be flexible in your planning. Find a role model. Recognize change is a part of life. I love find a role model. I have a few. I hope you do too. And then find a support team. Recognize memories. Remember the things that happened in the past that make you stronger or more able to cope. Reflect on the benefits of change. Remember other transitions and successes from past experiences. So go forward, but look back just enough to recall the things that you've learned that were helpful and your strengths, your ability to cope with those changes. So no matter what kind of transition you're working on, just keep those things in mind. You can do this, and then you'll go from scared to I have done it. I've taken care of it. So I hope you have a great week. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Transition Tuesdays with Jane and Joe. We're going to lay back and snooze in the sun, and we'll see you next time.